Yeah, another sad day. So let me get this straight. A young boy, 16-year-old, he gets, he misses the wrong street. He knocks on someone's door and then he gets shot. Like, this is not even making any sense. The boy's 16 years old. Like, why would you fear a young boy knocking on your door? Like, we all know America's a mad place, but you see a 16-year-old boy knocking on your door, and the first thing you want to do is run for your shotgun. Like, make it make sense. Like, how much times are we going to hear about this nonsense? And then the biggest things that gets to me is you lock him up, the guy who done the shooting. I think for 24 hours, maybe it's uh, something to do with their law, why you can't hold them over 24 hours, maybe something to do with that line. But I know for sure that if any black man shot a white child, 16-year-old, he would not be released. Let's just keep it real. He'll be sitting in jail right now. It's the same thing they done with, what's that guy was called, Arbery, when they arrest the two guys and they release him and nothing was coming out of the case. So you have to start wondering, what is this law about? Is this law for one and then it's different for another? Because that's how it seems to me. You have a law that if you shoot someone, you can be released because you don't have much evidence. What more evidence do you need? Like, even if he was coming to steal from your house, you had your shotgun. You tried to scare him away, but then you shot him and then went out and shot him again. The boy is like 16. Like, how much times are we going to see it and then we just make up these excuses? Oh, we release him because we don't like. What more evidence do you need? I've got friends who've been arrested for minute things, have to go to court. They've been arrested for simple things, not shooting a 16-year-old boy. And then you hold him for 24 hours. We need more evidence. Need more evidence of what? A boy came, knocked on your door, you shot him, and then you shot him again. So you should be just charged. The law is absolutely a joke in most of these countries when you start. If you know anything about law, the law is absolutely a joke because it only serves a few. We saw that when January the 6th. And people might say, yeah, but they've arrested a lot of people after that. Well, they didn't arrest a whole heap of people. There was loads of people out there that weren't arrested for doing something like that. And we all know that if that was black men storming the Capitol, it would have been a different story. National Guards would have been out there. Today would have been lighting candles for the 250 men that was shot outside the Capitol. And the narrative would have been different. The narrative would have been, well, they shouldn't have been doing that to our nation's capital. I mean, nobody does that. I mean, we shouldn't be doing that. That's what we would have been told. But no, they can go on, destroy the capital, walk up and down in the capital, and nothing happens. Even the politicians that were agreeing with them storming the capital, they're still walking around in politics. I mean, it's getting to a point where, I mean, what do they want to do? Start a race riot? Like a 16? This is not the first time I've heard stories like this. This little boy was just unfortunate. Well, I would say unfortunate, but the story is that he's pulling through. Let's hope he pulls through. And how much times are we going to read these stories? There was another boy, you can go on the YouTube and type it up. He knocked on someone's door, and the guy came out with a shotgun. Apparently, he got sentenced. Like, what is the fear? Why you feel like you have to keep running for your gun to shoot after kids? It just, to me, it just shows you what a weak man you are. You have to be weak when you feel the only thing you can defend yourself by is running for a shotgun and going to harm people, to murder the young boy. You didn't even say inside your door, what do you want? So we could, at least, if you said, what do you want? You could have said, oh, I'm looking for, and you'd have known. But the first thing you do is run. Like, what is the fear? You need to explain that to us, because we're sitting there thinking to myself, what, you can't knock on the door, and if you get killed and the police holds you for 24 hours and then they just release you? It doesn't work like that if you're black. There is no releasing. Let's just be straight. A black man take out his shotgun, shoot some white kid, is not being released from prison, from jail. That's a fact. So the law, as we start looking on it, it seems like it's only for certain people, and certain people get the full force of the law. And if that's the case, then we need to start look at the law again, or what they're doing in England. They actually have to be going through the police force now and reeling out all the bad apples, because there were many, and we've been telling them for time that there's many bad apples in this police force. You call the police because something is done wrong to you, and you could end up getting arrested because they're racist to the core. And we've all known that they've been racist to the core. You can see it in their face, the way they deal with you, the way they speak to you. There's only very few officers now, very few in certain police stations that you can actually have a conversation with. They're liars. Some of them are rapists. They're raping young girls out here. Like, we just can't trust them. The institution just needs to be revamped. Their idea of law is not our idea of justice. The law does not suit us, and you can't have law without justice. So what is the law good for? You can, like, take the guy who got shot, Arbery. It's months after the DA actually cleared them, like it's nothing to just kill us, until social media put that pressure on, and then they went and arrest them. Like, I'm sitting down scratching my head, like really, like, it has to stop. It's like, it has to stop. Look at the boy, he's 16, and he has to be lying down in hospital because of your insecurities. What do you think, he was coming to rob your house because he knocked on your door? You have a shotgun in your hand. All you have to do is say someone's home. He would have just said, "Oh, I'm looking for my siblings," and you'd be like, "Huh?" But you run for your guns. Like, no disrespect, but America, I could never live there. You just don't know. I mean, you could just go out for a meal and you don't come back. It's just, and then they keep saying America, it's the greatest country alive, and I'm like, you mean it's the greatest evil alive? It's like a comedy show for the rest of the world. It's asinine that someone could come and knock on your door and end up lying down in an hospital bed fighting for your life at 16 years old, because you might have feared that he was coming to rob your house or something like that. Like, it does, like, it's asinine. And what gets me, when we see black people demonstrating, there's always someone out there talking about Jesus is going to help, or Jesus is not helping that boy in the bed right now. How many times are we going to keep talking about Jesus is going to aid us, or Jesus is going to do that, and Jesus is going to do this? And, like, seriously, like, what is the nonsense that we have, that we keep talking about, that Jesus is going to save us? Jesus, like, it's just nonsense. Like when Dylan Roof walked into the church. and kill all those people. The next day, people was on there talking about forgiveness and saving, and it's asinine. Even the God of your own Bible know when you're at war. I think the Bible states there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. But for black people, there's never any time. There's always a time for peace. And we're just kind of getting tired of it. In particular, I know a lot of black men are getting tired of that. And we don't want to hear this Jesus thing every time one of us get killed because you're not the one being killed. Let's hope that he can pull through and his family get some justice. Thanks.